Hey, Kasey, we're about to start math planning. Come on.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, so next week we're gonna start the week with one of our with a problem. It's the bike and trike problem. And so you go to a shop that sells tricycles and bicycles. There are 100 wheels in the store. How many bicycles and tricycles could there be? Hey, will you give me that pen?
Yeah.
And do you have one over there? Because
Yeah.
I didn't bring anything to write with, but I'm gonna take a shot at just working it real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know we're
So if we're talking, this is for our third graders.
well, I'm just gonna actually work them out.
Oh, work it for ourselves.
Yeah, just work it for ourselves. See what might come up. I think we've got a pretty good idea, or I've got a pretty good idea. I'm sorry, of a couple of ways they might do it. What about you?
Yeah, well, I was thinking that I guess I keep going back to how kids might try to solve it. And I was thinking that they might try to first figure out how many total bicycles and tricycles and then split it up by the wheels.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that it popped up to me real quick is we want to make very sure in the opening that we clarify that the problem clearly says bicycles and tricycles, so they can't just have bicycles, because
You have to have
I
some
can
of that.
completely, see a kid's just saying, well,
Right. We'll divide it in half and just say I need 50 bikes.
exactly. I feel like you and I came up with a pretty darn efficient strategy, and that was, I did a bicycle and a tricycle would be 5 of the wheels, and I could get 2 5s and a 10.
Right.
So that would give me 2 bicycles and 2 tricycles for every 10 tires.
Yes.
And then I do that 10 times.
And that would get your total number of wheels. Okay.
But as I was doing that, then I said, okay, I finished that, and I thought, okay, well, what else could they do? And I started going, okay, well, I could do that 50, but since I know I have to have 1 tricycle, I started working off of how many bikes would I have to take off of there in order for me to do
a tricycle.
So I'm really, I think one of the big pieces that we can really pay attention to for them is the efficiency of strategies. That would be something that I would.
Yeah. Well, my mind starts going to what do we think that kids would start trying to do first? And I'm
see them
thinking, with trying to split that in half, split the 100 in half.
Or just start subtracting.
Yeah. From the total number of wheels.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back and I looked at last year. The expectation was that they would be able to solve one-step and multi-step word problems involving addition and subtraction within 1,000 using a variety of strategies. So that's why I was thinking they should be able to do this. And based on what I've seen, I think that they will be able to. I just am not thinking, I think that we're going to have a whole range of kids with some very highly efficient strategies.
Right.
And some not so efficient strategies.
Well, I could see maybe even some of them trying to draw this out.
Oh, I know. So then whenever I look at our landscape, it made me. What's that? No, I think it was on our multiplication division, maybe. No, it was here. I'm sorry. That,
Which one are you thinking about?
well, I just am really thinking that, that we would want to see them utilizing this idea of unitizing and combinations that make 10. Not just that they would be able to tell me a combination that makes 10, but that they
Are
can,
they gonna utilize
can
that
they
in order
decompose,
to-
right, or compose to make parts of 10. And then, oh, there was something on here that really struck me. I think it is just that making tens piece.
Yeah, I think in terms of this part,
There it was. I want to see this. Patterns can be made. That is such a big idea that patterns can be made from iterated units. So if they start to see, even if they don't do it this way, do they see that if I have 10 bikes, that's 20?
right,
So can they use that kind of pattern to help make
to
this
then
work
count
more?
on,
Right.
and well, almost kind of like what you did here to say, well, if I know this piece, then I could just keep that pattern going instead of having to work out every single piece.
So in the opening, I think that maybe it would be a good idea for us to even talk about efficiency. That today we're really going to be looking at for you to come up with 2 strategies maybe for solving this problem. Well, not today, because we know that this is going to take way more than 2 days.
It will take a couple
way
days.
more than a day. But for them to be able to evaluate which one of the strategies they think is most efficient and kind of talk about why.
Yeah, because I think that opens up the range for the students that are just drawing a picture to now start thinking about something that could be more efficient. And the students that are going to start here.
A protocol that I used with my kids the other day was, I called it a fly on the wall. And that was just that if I saw you using like a really inefficient strategy, then I could just say, I just want you to go be a fly on the wall and look at some other teams. You can ask them questions if you want to, or you can just look at the strategies that they are using and see if that gives you any ideas. It seemed like kind of a non-threatening way for kids to get some other strategies.
I think that's a great idea.
So we might want to have that in our back pocket because I think you were so on point that we're going to have kids drawing 100 wheels. Not all of them, but some of them. And we definitely need to, considering that we have to get them working within 1,000, we have to get them
we got to
more
get them
efficient.
moving.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm good with our problem solving. Okay, I know.
What else?
Well, I know that we have already on our own looked over our plans, our stepping stones lessons for next week. But I wanted to talk about, to see what your thoughts were on where we should be looking at our,
For some of those talk moves.
well, and just, ways to get the kids more involved in processing the learning. So knowing that the whole purpose of this lesson is that they need to be able to use their place value understanding to represent numbers with words, based in blocks, and numerals. I was thinking that when they start the lesson, they're asking, it's kind of a check-in almost of, do you understand that this one unit is equal to this?
Well, and that just sounds like, when you said check-in, that's the perfect place, I think, for a turn and talk.
Yeah.
And for us to then check in with pairs and
Yeah,
see what some of their responses are.
if we've got kids that are off right there, the rest of the lesson is really going to be a struggle. So we need to be able to course correct immediately right there. And then we start getting into this part. We were getting into a lot of some of the big ideas, the connections between the written, the concrete, and especially the words, which is big time abstract.
Yeah.
So I think that the language is going to be really important here. So through this part, possibly doing a mixture of who can, having a kid say it so that we can hear it. Are they being accurate?
And
then
the repeating. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
I think that's a perfect place because that just kind of reiterates that language over and over again.
Right. Okay. Well, I know that we've gotta go pick up the kids real quick, but you wanna finish back, come back for lunch and we can look at the other two lessons?
Yeah.
Whenever we get back, okay, cool.
Let's do it.